What's up, guys? Our Boy here. Today we're doing another video. Today we're taking a look at the Soviet Union PDF. Let's begin. Now, you're probably all wondering, yes, kids actually, I think during in World War II, the entirety introduction of gas masks was actually kind of become very more common during in World War II. Now, we all know about the British for rather called the Mickey Mouse masks, one for British United Kingdom and Canada, and also quite a bit very well known, or rather kind of most rarest pieces, is that Mickey Mouse gas mask that's in the U.S. Yeah, that's actually like 1,000 of those made, and I really wish I had one of those. But these are actually rather the more common ones, more common children's gas mask. Yeah, these are kind of very awkward about, or kind of. Now, there's a reason why for these masks to be made. Now, these masks have been made during in the 1950s, rather to the late 50s to the early 90s. And so kids can't wear just a normal DP-5 mask. That's more likely for adults to wear those. But for kids, these are kind of something you could probably... And these are actually been made for rather for the fear of like nuclear attacks, and rather for them to having to be trained to wear these, which you could probably know what type. Now, I will be saying about this is these masks in particular are not called, they're actually, the word PDF is actually the kit name of the mask. Rather, this one right here, the one with this one right here, that's actually known as the MD1-A, and this one is the DP-6A, which that's the more of that common name for that one, but they've called it as PDF. But the bag itself, which I don't have the bag unfortunately, is actually a pretty small bag. Have like one little pocket for the mask and the filter, and yes, the filter is actually a very small brown coffee can filter, and again, that one probably contains asbestos. Definitely does. Both of these masks will have is both of these masks are 40 millimeter gauze threads. So you're going to need a 40 millimeter gauze adapter to the NATO filter. And oh yeah, it also used to have our like extra pair of lenses. So that's kind of nothing. And the eye holes are rather pretty small. They're pretty like limited. It actually is also relying on a whole hose for it. Now, it isn't like bad like the AFM, that rare French mask, which actually is a literal steel plate of all things. Yeah, it's kind of really weird. So, this one is a size 1. You probably know. There's 13 on the stamp right here. 1 DA, and this is the 0.76. I think that's probably made in 1976. That's actually where the stamp came from. Here's the exhale valve cover made of steel with a flapper piece inside, wrapped around with a piece of cloth all around it. And cloth around here, and on the eyepieces too, and on the hose itself, with a little gasket piece inside of it. The hose are kind of actually slightly bigger. The hose for the MD1-A is actually more taller, a little bigger than it is than the normal DP6. And the size on the hose itself is around about like 13 inches, while the DP-6A is around about of 12 inches. And they both have, and yes, just like the GP5s, they also will have a common, like, there also will have a black variant to it. I couldn't find any available for the black variant for this one, so it's kind of really weird to see that. Now, both the head harness will have this weird, like, let's see, cotton adjustments on top of it, on the centerpiece of it, and it also is like one of these weird zigzag type of deal, where to adjust the thing, this is how you adjust the thing, or adjust the entire harness. You could pull it like that on the bottom, and you could do it like that with the elastic straps, with some metal pieces around the harness itself. That's how you adjust the mask itself. And inside of the... oh, wait, no. Let's see the stamp itself. Okay, this one's a size 4, 0.75. So that's probably 1975 to be exact. And this is 0.15. So inside of the DP6, it's bare bones inside of it. There's some stamp inside of it, located on the right. 018U6751D, or DA. It's not an A, that's actually the DA thing right there. It's a part of the acrylic. So, when you're actually going to be inhaling, it will travel here. It will travel inside the entire flapper piece, with pieces of brass or pieces of steel inside of it, rounded with a metal piece inside of it. And to exhale, it actually travels to here with this plastic piece. It travels to here. Not kind of like a GP5 where it's actually with the TSOT system. That's kind of what... that's actually for the DP6. But for the MD one, which you could probably know, it's kind of had the same thing, but it's also have like this little strap right here. Probably to be used as like a necklace type of deal. So that's kind of another thing. It's kind of also had that weird like zigzag, harness system. So that's kind of what it is. And inside there, just like the DP6, it's also kind of have the same TSOT system style to it. This one will have a stamp. There's a stamp right here, is 66. When you inhale, it'll actually inhale it right here, and to exhale, it travels to here. That's how it's supposed to be traveled like that. So let's test these bad boys out, and yes, I'm going to be attempting to wear this and see how it is. Wish me luck. So this is what it sounds like with the mask on.
Okay, that's better. So this one sounds like I got the mask on.
Yeah, unfortunately, my face was a little too big for these things, so it's kind of understandable why it's... But I did my best of trying these out. But for if they're kids, I think it'll work better. Rather, kind of, if you're for a smaller head, it would be the MD1. And for this one is the... like the normal sized about it here. But what I don't have are both of them in the black rubber. The bigger one, which is the PDF-7, which is the kind of similar to this, but just have it like that. Like that, of all things, which that's kind of a thing for it. And also the PDF-SH, where it's kind of using like kind of a similar face piece like the GP7Vs, or GP7s to be exact. So, yeah, you could probably know. So, I'm giving these masks, say, a 7 out of 10. Kind of pretty weird pieces to have, but it's also makes sense because what's for rather if they're rather kids type of deal. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing for it. Kind of weird, yes, but I mean, I don't blame them to making this type of mask for kids. Rather to protect them. So that's kind of a thing for it. And I also do not have is the bag itself, so it's kind of unfortunate I couldn't even get to see what the... Well, I kind of know what the bag looks like. It's a pretty small bag. But that's all it is. So that wraps up the Russian or the Soviet Union PDF masks. I'm Artilboy, and I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.